Welcome, guys, to another week of the Sndpodcast Show. Steven here with Dan.
Good evening, guys. How's it going? I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving last week. Me and Steve both had very good ones.
Very nice.
A lot of football and a lot of good games watching. The night game wasn't so much, but we'll get back. We'll get back to the Jets later.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Want to just mention, we did mention the new name is the Snd Podcast. We're just going to change things up a little bit. Make it a little smaller, make it a little easier for everybody to find us.
Yeah, it's a shorter name. We're going to lose the NFL because we don't want to get sued or whatever from the NFL if we ever did make it big or whatever. They can find us and sue us, which we don't need. Yeah.
Let's get this week's show started. We're going to talk about some Thanksgiving today. We'll talk about
Giants' impressive win against the Packers.
Jets.
Not so much.
Running into their own teammates.
Fireman Ed quitting, retiring.
Well, this show, guys.
Proud to be a New York Giant. There ain't no team like the New York Giants. I'd rather be a New York Giant. I'm proud to be.
I'm going to start off by saying I love coming out of the bye week.
Yeah. That was a first.
Was not expecting that out of the New York Football Giants.
Especially against the Green Bay Packers. 39.
38.
Yeah, sorry. That was the Jets score. 38-10. 38-10. Your New York Football Giants.
31-10 at the end of the first half. Yeah. I told you it was going to be 31-10 at halftime.
I would have laughed. You knew this week was weird when I watched the game like I normally been doing the last few weeks. Pretty much this whole season with my girlfriend. And if anybody knows me, I'm watching if it's a blowout or we're winning by 50 points, I have to have my butt in the chair no matter what.
Same chair every week?
Yeah.
For the most part.
For the most part. And at halftime, I go, babe, do you want to go home? And because she was passed out, and she's going to kill me if she listens, but I don't really care. And she goes, no. The Packers are gonna make a comeback like the Cowboys did. I'm like, no, all right, fine, we'll stay. And then after Nick scored a touchdown, I'm like, let's go, let me drive you home. That will be the first time in history that was the only time I felt that confident that the Giants were gonna win and ever. So that was nice.
That's 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That goes. Okay.
We have this game won. Eli's back at least this week.
Well, one game at a time.
At a time.
16 for 30, 249, and 3 touchdowns.
Matt Bradshaw had a good week. He finally was rested. He still, unfortunately, doesn't have that boost anymore.
That burst.
No.
Let's get to that play.
The first screenplay.
Can I just ask you when was the last time you saw the New York Giants run a play action fake reverse screen pass?
That was never. First of all. That was nice. But unfortunately, he doesn't have that burst anymore.
Oh, we all thought he would be gone, but you know what? You'll take we still got 7 out of it. We did get 7. We got 7? Yeah, we got 7 on that.
Brown before he got hurt, unfortunately.
We'll get back to that a little later.
Nix and Cruz both scored touchdowns. Nix had the majority of the plays.
Cruz, they looked like they were easing back into the flow of... He was off for a couple of weeks. He wasn't all there. They were slowly getting him in.
Yeah, Cruz is still being Victor Cruz. He didn't have a great stat night, but he did score a touchdown, so that's good to see. Martellus Bennett still have an okay night.
3 for 44 for Bennett. Cruz was 3 for 36 for a touchdown. Nix was 5 for 77 in a touchdown, including 1 touchdown. Eli Manning, congratulations. 200 career touchdown passes, passing Phil Simms.
I've probably seen all 200.
I want to say about
98%.
98%, yes. And
congratulations, Eli.
So that was very nice. Especially be there. Nice standing ovation from everybody.
I would expect nothing less.
Before we move on, got to give the credit to the speech from Friday. Yes. Adam Merchant, kid is actually very sick with cancer. They introduced during the game. I did not know at the time when they introduced him at the game, but he did give the team a prep talk Friday.
That's what they were
saying. And he told them, play like world
champions.
And that's what they did.
It's nice to see. You guys, they would look pretty stupid if they didn't show up to play against the Packers on Sunday night after a kid with terminal cancer pouring his heart out, I would assume, since he loves the Giants and everything like that. It's really touching that the Giants helped that kid make his wish.
Yeah, they've actually had it at a couple of games. They've had it, but this is the first time I've heard something about him giving a speech and motivating, and then being in the locker room after the game. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and I saw that at the Giants.com has the post game Coughlin huddle, and they had the kid
in the
with
middle
whoever his probably parent or brother in the huddle with them, and he said, "Yeah," and I think this is
a nice touching thing. And you know what? Every year the Giants always have that one motivational speech, and hopefully this will be
Colonel Gaston last year, a couple of years ago, the first Super Bowl run. Last year was the girl. Well, last year was the student, the teacher who brought in the all-in chips, and also the girl from the cross-country meet who would fall down, and they were all in. Don't fight. I'll give up till the last break. She could have gave up on the race. She fell down, and she crawled to the final half a mile.
Yep.
Pretty impressive stuff. It's just typical Giants. This week they played Monday night.
Least expect it, they show up. The only thing I missed, I didn't get to see Graham Harrell's first career pass. I wasn't there for live. I was kind of upset about that. Big loss though in the game, of course. Andre Brown
is put on IR, but he can come back.
He's eligible for the Super Bowl.
It's a broken leg. Let's be fair and not expect that.
If anything, you'll see his name, quote unquote, off the IR, but not dressed for the game, type of thing.
They picked up 2 running backs this week. Ryan Terrain, I think that's more of a because we're playing the Redskins this week, and just get a little bit more.
He's a little bit of a bigger back.
He's a little bit of a bigger back. This is true. If he was able to ever stay healthy,
he wasn't on this team, this Redskin team. It's a totally Redskin team.
He was for a little bit. It's still
a different team with Robert Griffin. It's completely different.
Right, but you're right in that aspect. But he was there for a little bit before he got cut. It's just the whole. A lot of teams do this. This is a Patriot kind of move, and other teams do it every now and then.
Right.
So I don't expect it really. If he's here for the rest of the season, he's here for the rest of the season, which is great. But I think we're finally going to get to see the installment of David Wilson, more than a 1 or 2 carry performance.
He took over at the end of the game the other day. I mean, it was garbage time, but that was them easing him in. They were giving him the ball over and over. They also signed Craig Lumpkin, but he was more of a guy who played special teams.
Yeah, he's going to be more of a special teams guy.
That was the key, bringing a guy who could play special teams.
When we didn't mention back to the Packer game. I'm sorry. O.C. Umenyiora had a back. He was old.
Our entire defensive line and defense played good. There was one they play. The one they couldn't do it.
Once again, you're our best DB. Not gonna lie, he is our best DB. But once a game, get your head out of your ass. Play a whole game. Come on. I know you play the top wide receivers in each team. But
that's no excuse. If you're going to be a top corner, you need to have it. But he made up for it. He
came up with the pick.
He had that pick later in the game, which could have been ran back, but wasn't ran back. And their feet touched and whatever. Chase Blackburn was all over the place once again. Kiwi 2 sacks. Chase had a sack. Canty had a sack. OC had a sack. Everybody had a sack.
Blackburn. My defensive game blow would definitely go to Blackburn.
Once again,
he was all over the place. He almost made a pick.
You know what?
Blackburn does.
He actually almost made 2.
That's right.
He had the one in the end zone also where he almost picked it off.
Yeah.
But key to me on defense was the fact that the return of Kenny Phillips.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back this week. He had
a little weird feeling in the knee apparently, and they took him out, so he had a precautionary at that point. The game was over anyway. But the fact that they went back to that 3 Stevie Brown stepped up so much in the absence that they were able to go back to that 3 safety set.
Which helped a lot, and Antrell Roll played the box, and that was really good.
Right. Like they had last year with Deion Grant, Roll, and Phillips, which was huge. The only problem with the other night was Pierre Paul 3 or 4 times. Well, if you watch closely, Pierre Paul chasing Rodgers around, dives, and by the tip of Rodgers' toe gets away from him.
Yeah, he wasn't the luckiest this year so far, but he's still having a beastly year. All right, now since we already talked about that, the Packers, let's be fair, weren't the healthiest, but they're still the Green Bay Packers as long as Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback. As long as he's the quarterback, they're good, and they had a 5-game winning streak coming in. So this victory was huge for the New York Football Giants.
Special teams also played a big.
Yeah, all three aspects of the game that you always hope that 2 out of 3 play well. All 3 of them.
You take 2 out of 3, you'll take.
For once, the Giants played a full 60-minute game without a problem or a heartbreak or a heart anything for once.
And also back to David Wilson, congratulations to him becoming the first player this year to have 1,000 kick return yards.
Oh, congratulations. I didn't realize that when I was watching the game.
He's averaging, I believe it's about 28 yards return.
He's been...
And you know what? We haven't had a guy get to the 28 in a long time.
And we also have to mention congratulations to Ruben Randall.
First career touchdown.
Yeah, he can...
And what a catch.
Yeah, it was a very good catch. Maybe there comes something with Hickson out and everybody else out. Maybe he starts clicking, and that would be a nice dynamic, having our 2 rookies at the end of the year coming on, catch fire, and help us in the playoffs.
07 run. Kevin Boss and Matt Bradshaw at the end of the year.
Yeah, good call. Maybe. We'll see.
Okay. Bradshaw with the speed. Remember that. Bradshaw was the speed guy there.
Yeah.
David Wilson bring his speed.
Okay, that was their Packer review. Let's talk about the Redskins this week. RG3 is coming off red hot right now.
I'm not gonna lie, they're the team I'm afraid of in the division.
Oh yeah, well.
No question about it.
Monday night,
they're there.
Monday night is the seal. Hopefully, the Giants seal the deal on our division.
Eagle win. Giant win will basically mean a win next week in a clinch.
That would be very nice.
Which would basically what it would mean. But we'll get to the Cowboys later. We'll worry about them playing the Eagles this week. So honestly, the Redskins, I think not this year. I'm not going to give them this year, being that it's his rookie year. No sophomore slump out of RG3. And next year, they could probably own this division.
They could. They very well could. Their defense they destroyed Dallas.
And their best defense players out.
Brian Arapaho's out for the rest of the season. It's going to be a tough game for the Giants. Like every week, it's going to be a grind. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, they saw what happened in the Meadowlands. The Road Warriors come out and play hard against RG3, and hopefully RG3 doesn't run and throw over the field again like he did at MetLife when you and me were both at the game, and we didn't need Victor Cruz to bail us out.
Speaking of that game, might as well talk about the end.
My buddy!
Hold on, I got you the quote.
Player in the league.
Got the article and got you the quote.
I'm ready for me to flip out. Let's do this.
It's after the game back in October, after the Giants won on the comeback. Hall told the Washington reporters that it wasn't something where he was a rocket science and figured something out. Now Eli came back and said, quote, "I appreciate him giving it to me. Thank you. No, I didn't think it took a rocket science to figure it out either. We had a guy running open, and you hit him." End of the quote.
Can I say one thing?
Of course.
Daniel Hall, shut your mouth. He burnt you on that play. How do you
no question about it.
How do you have balls to come out and say we gave him that play? No, Victor Cruz flat out toasted you on that play. You hide your tail behind your legs and just take the loss as a man. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Would you like to hear Tuck's response?
Go ahead. What was Tuck's?
Quote, "Well, D'Angelo's not that smart if they gave it to him."
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I love how D'Angelo plays. He's an awesome player. But to give a person a game-winning touchdown, end of quote.
Yeah, no, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But you know what? I like what Cruz said today. They're not going to take that and put it on the bulletin board.
No need to.
That's not a trash talk thing. Talk gets done on the field.
Exactly. Talk is cheap, as they like to say.
That's all it is. Talk is cheap.
What's the spread on this game?
2.5. Giants are 2.5.
Man. Okay.
Basically because of record, I would say. Normally a game like this, if they were closer in record, a home team would be that 2.5. Yeah. Like the other night, the Giants were the 2.5 favorites. I'm going to say the Giants cover.
I think the Giants cover too. It's their time to shine. It's December football. It's going to be a tough game. but the Giants do end up covering, and we're gonna put a stranglehold on the division.
We'll talk about the rest of the NFC East later, but yeah, this is a Giants game. I'm gonna say Lawrence Tynes wins it on the end of the game field goal.
Okay. I don't know how we're gonna win it, but Eli is gonna have a solid game. I think the passing, the secondary of the Redskins aren't that special, so it's gonna be a good game for Eli. I'm interested to see how Bradshaw and Wilson and maybe Turing run the ball, if any of the new guys run the ball. But it's going to be a Ahmad Bradshaw show, and David Wilson, let's see how many carries he gets.
This is one of those games where we're going to watch OC closely again because of that option play.
Absolutely.
This play he always gets burned on.
Every play. Let's see how many times OC doesn't read his keys and runs up in the backfield and we get tossed by 1 billion yards.
Giant on defense, giving up rushing yards about 114 on average per game. But the Skins passing is giving up about 300.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be your typical NFC East. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as it was the last time these two teams met.
Probably not. It's going to be a night game with a little
It's colder. They've played each other once. They've seen each other. The last game, by the way, was 27-23 final back on October 21st, week 7. December, I think now's that point where usually you'll see rookies fading a little bit.
But our rookies haven't really done much.
I'm not talking about our rookies. I'm talking about those rookies who play, those top 10 picks type guys, like RG3. This is usually that time of the year where they fade back a little bit, and that's basically what I have to say about this.
No, yeah, it's let's see if our OC's Bob comment stays true again. We contained him as best as they could on the MetLife, but
he's that type of quarterback. You do the best you can. You let him get. He's going to get his yards.
He is,
and you got to know he's going to get his yards. The difference between the Skins now and back in October, the Skins now are throwing the ball a lot more. They're using that play action pass a lot more. So our Kenny Phillips playing, and our safeties are going to be huge in this game. Jets?
Yeah, we could go Jets here. And unfortunately, we have to talk about the New York Jets.
Well, we do have Jet fans.
Alright, let's see.
Could be worse. We could be Jet fans.
Yeah, Mets and Jet combo. Gross. That would have been bad. Let's just say what it was. New England came into MetLife Stadium on Thanksgiving and whipped that ass.
I have one thing
no
to say.
No pun intended to Moore's butt. But
well, Wilford didn't push him in.
Picked him up and threw him. Oh boy, that right there, that play signifies the coming on the end of the Jets season. Well,
first of all, you gotta love the let's dress Tebow, not play Tebow.
Yeah.
Say his ribs are bruised. Well, for 3 weeks.
Tebow was having catch with another good story, Make-A-Wish kid.
He does that about every week, apparently.
Every week, yeah. He's very popular, if you didn't know. He couldn't throw with his left arm. So...
He threw the ball right-handed.
And he said that was very painful. So, I don't know. And we all know Tim Tebow is a very tough guy. If you've followed his whole career like I have, he's played with a broken leg in high school during a game, and his they had a special on him. And he flat out had a broken leg and carried his team to victory and other injuries. We all know Tim Tebow's story, but the New York Jets did not show up to play. And the first quarter was good, 0-0, and then the floodgates opened.
I'll tell you exactly when it is.
The Patriots scored
9:56 into the second quarter. Brady's first touchdown. Then they kick it off. And then it's all downhill from there. 52 seconds. Sanchez runs up the... Sanchez goes for a handoff.
Wrong way. That's his play messed up completely. And he thought he would make, hey, let me go run behind Moore. And Moore got picked up by Wilford.
I hope he didn't eat too much turkey and make himself gassy that day. Poor Sanchez.
I've never seen that happen in my life. And I don't think anybody has. That Sanchez just got smacked by his body.
That's the fun part about watching the Jets. You
Oh.
see something new every
And then
week.
the next kick, then the kickoff,
No,
Joe McKnight fumbles the ball. It pops up in the air. and
right into
Edelman's hands.
Edelman's hands.
Touchdown. My mom, who never really watches football, we finally wrapped up Thanksgiving and we were watching the game. My mom was watching the game for a bit, and those were her 2 plays that she watched in that game. And she goes, "What the hell's going on with the Jets?" I'm like, "It's been
The
like
Jets.
this all year long." It was just an ugly game. A lot of controversy. There was a Deadspin video circulating of fans cursing at them and yada yada yada. And it's just been ugly. It was just
Praying
an
for
ugly
people
game.
to save them.
But that ain't happening anytime soon. It's just the Jets.
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm on Joe Bedingo's side when it comes to this.
Oh, the pain, brother. Oh, the pain.
It's what's his name from Alabama's time.
McElroy?
It's
Oh.
McElroy's time.
Oh boy.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Tebow's hurt. Sanchez is horrible. Play McElroy. You have nothing to lose. But if you lose this week, you got to start. You got to start McElroy. At least let him dress to use him as a backup. But the biggest news coming out of the game, and the only thing everybody's talking about this game, is not the Jets losing.
It is
The retirement of Fireman Ed.
Can we put a rest in peace on Fireman Ed? Cue the JETS Jets and pour some of your nice alcoholic beverage onto the ground. Fireman Ed was a class act from what we've always seen. He is a super fan of the Jets. It's sad to see a fan not having to.
It's bad when you lose that passion.
It's sad.
It's sad, and you know what? You never want to see
Football's
that.
supposed to be fun, and it sucks that he was getting so much abuse just trying to protect his root for his team from his own fans because he's wearing a Mark Sanchez jersey. He left at halftime, and he said in his letter, which I believe. Me being a Met fan, I've been through tough games and I've stuck it out, and I feel bad for him that he can't be quote unquote Fireman Ed anymore and lead the JETS Jets. As an outsider, some people I get pumped up even though I'm not a Jet fan when I hear that chant, like when the whole crowd is in unison. It's a pretty cool feeling. And it's sad that he can't do that anymore, but...
The chant's still going to live on.
Oh, of course.
No question
but it's
about
not
it.
the same. It's not going to be the same.
But the question is, this Sunday, are they going to put... Every Sunday they put the camera on Fireman Ed to lead the crowd in the chant.
Yeah.
Are they going to put the camera on Fireman Ed and see what he does?
Who knows? I doubt it. Out of respect and what Fireman Ed has been the unofficial mascot of the New York Jets.
What they've actually done this year is had celebrities coming in. Actually, John Cena at one. The Karate Kid was there for one. Who actually have been leading them in the chant this year. So it'll be interesting to see what they do on that. They're playing a winnable game.
Yeah,
you have a West Coast team.
West Coast team, 1 o'clock game.
Traveling cross country.
Their third string quarterback, who is garbage.
Third string. Isn't this like 8? Ken Winson texted me today and asked me to be ready. That's how bad it is there in Arizona.
Yeah, he threw a couple pick sixes in his first career game. Poor guy. The Jets, if the Jets don't win this game, just
pack it in.
Pack it in. They gotta win this game. If they don't win this game, they're not gonna win a game for the rest of the year, I feel. And that's pretty sad.
Especially considering they have the easiest schedule in the NFL the rest of the season. There's really nothing to say about the Jets.
Yeah, other than drama, and we talked more about Fireman Ed than the actual Jets, and that's pretty sad. So, yep. That was our Jet talk this week.
You're playing the Cardinals. What's the spread on this game?
Jets should be favorites.
Jets are 4.5. An offense that can barely put up 10 are 4.5 favorites. I understand that it's a West Coast team coming East Coast who have never been good in the time change.
Jeez.
4.5. All right, Cardinals cover.
Well,
This has 10-9 final written all over it.
snooze fest. Really.
This is when I'm going to bring my car to Best Buy to get the Sirius installed so I don't have to watch it. Sorry for all you souls out there who do have to watch it and who will be there. I do know a couple people that are going because they are passionate fans. And
No,
I mean, they're Islander fans. They're passionate.
Me as a Met fan,
You know how they feel.
Hang in there, man. Hang in there.
We know how you feel, Met Islander fans.
Let's talk about this let's talk about this.
Let's talk Thanksgiving.
Okay, we haven't talked about Thanksgiving.
Let's talk about the other games on Thanksgiving because at least the other two games were good.
Oh, those are phenomenal games. The first game was an overtime game. The Lions versus the Texans, and the Texans won in overtime. There was a controversial play on a long touchdown. You know
what? I don't even want to talk about it because you could argue it both ways. Yeah, he's had the past of the bad stuff, but also you can argue that he was rolling over and he just his legs.
About Dominican Sue. I was talking about the controversial play.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sue. That was my point on Sue. You can say he was rolling over and his foot just happened to kick him, but you know what? It just happened to hit him where you don't want it.
Your legs, both. With his track record, he had to be fined.
He's lucky he didn't get suspended. That's what I got to say about that. There was the controversial play.
And that cost the 15-yard penalty by the Lions because
Foster was clearly down.
Wasn't Foster.
Yes, not Foster. Forsett was clearly down. It should have been down. They didn't call him down. He played the whistle. Didn't hear one, so he got up and ran. Which is the right play to do. That's what you're taught to do at a young age. Schwartz threw the flag. The rule this year, they included, it's now all scoring plays and turnovers are reviewable. If a coach throws a flag, it's a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, which is probably the worst rule.
As a coach, yeah, it's stupid that he got flagged 15 yards, but you're the coach for the NFL team. You should know that every play call every score is challenged. But
they didn't review it. That was the problem. That's why he threw the challenge because the ref has a buzzer. He checks the buzzer. It's like a pager. They'll say good or not or review. If it says good, they go to the extra point. Apparently, the buzzer said good, and he pointed to start the extra point. So he threw the flag. That caused the penalty. At that point, I don't think it was a factor. It was early in the game. It was the third quarter. It was the third quarter, so it was like the middle of the game. That's 7 points the Texans wanted off the board, but you don't know how that drive could have finished. It could have just finished with 7 points, and it just would have been a waste of time.
It was a good game, and then at the end of the game, in overtime, both teams were missing field goals left and right, and then the Texans finally finished it off with a game-winning field goal. So that was a fun game. That was a good appetizer. That was a good day right before the big turkey. That was really fun. I enjoyed that.
And what makes Thanksgiving better than a Dallas loss?
Oh, wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope everybody enjoys. Everybody who's not a Cowboy fan enjoyed that Thanksgiving. I did.
That was definitely
RG3 lit it up, baby.
Tony Romo threw the ball 60+ times in this game.
Tony.
That's all I'm going to say about it.
It's not Tony's fault. It's
never Tony's fault. I know.
Tony. Poor. Oh, there goes my Cowboys are going to run the table theory. As of right now, they very well could still make the playoffs, but as long as the Giants win against the Redskins this week, looks pretty good in our favor.
RG3. It was what a Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was very impressive. His first
primetime game.
Primetime game in Thanksgiving, and it was, hey, fuck it.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse my language, but yeah, I'm just gonna
20
kick
for
some butt.
28, 311, 4 touchdowns.
Yep, and he ran the ball a bunch. It's just not Dallas's year.
Tony Romo, 37 for 62,
As much
441, 3 touchdowns, and
as
and
much
2
as
picks.
everybody thinks it is, and I was one of them, thinks it's Dallas's year.
It's always Dallas's year.
I wonder what they're gonna do. Garrett has to be on the hot seat.
Excuse me, there's a petition out there for Jerry Jones' job. Cowboy fans apparently started a petition to get
They need a new GM.
Obama to get involved with the team.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't have any important things to be doing right now.
Because firing Jerry Jones is more important than all the tax problems and
everything like that. But Jerry Jones even admitted to himself that if he wasn't the owner, he would have been fired a long time ago as the GM. So that's a good sign, right?
I'm going to say Garrett survives the year.
Yeah.
Because this is what Jerry Jones likes to do. Garrett survives the year. He did this with Phillips after a miserable end of the season. He survived the year, waited till the following season, got embarrassed on national TV, and fired him. And that's what he's going to do next year.
And I wouldn't be shocked if it's a Giant week either. That he fires him because, new coach, new scheme against a rival.
This week they're playing the Eagles. If they don't beat the Eagles...
Sunday Night Football, baby.
If they don't beat the Eagles, who have given up completely, Foles is probably still starting. We should be hearing sometime later this week, if Vic's going to play or not. He still hasn't been cleared. Same with McCoy. Granted, his backup had a good game the other night.
Brown, the rookie.
Yeah.
Granted, he played Carolina, but what are you going to do? It is what it is.
It is what it is, and it's going to be a snooze fest. It's just the ratings are going to be just still be good because it's a marquee matchup.
The only reason why it wasn't flexed, it's in Jerry's world. That's why it wasn't flexed, because God forbid they don't show the outside of Jerry's world 7,000 times.
No, it doesn't. That has nothing to do with it. It's just that it's still a marquee matchup. Granted that both teams are not underachieving. And Dallas could make a good... that Sunday night could be the start of the Dallas Cowboys run. That's the way the media thinks.
Would you like to have the spread on this game?
What is the spread?
10 points with a 43 over-under. I'm going to say...
That's the bettors are asking you to take the Eagles.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. I'm going to say that I'm going to take the Eagles in this one.
I don't know.
I'm going to take them to cover. I don't think they're going to win, but I'm going to take them to cover that. I think that it's going to be your typical NFC East matchup, just like the Giants and Skins are. DeMarco Murray might play this week. He practiced today for the first time.
Well, that's a first.
Actually, he practiced last Tuesday, but they didn't want to risk it for the game, so...
Mm-hmm.
So he did practice a little bit today. Yeah, what else you guys say about the Eagle-Cowboy game?
It's just a sympathy bowl, like they've been saying. Hopefully it's a good game. It's Sunday night. It'll be a good game to watch. I know I'll definitely be watching the game, and hopefully the Eagles win, because they're the lesser of the two evils right now. So I guess I would be rooting for the Eagles if I had to pick a team.
We need the Eagles to win this game.
Well, of course, I know that, because the Eagles have a shittier record. But I hope it's a tie. But the Eagles would be 4-8 if they were to win, and the Cowboys would be 5-7 if they were to lose. So that would be very helpful for the Giants' playoff berth.
Plus an Eagle win means crappier draft pick for them, because they want a higher seed at this point.
Yeah.
They want a higher draft pick, so
The more they win, the worse of the seed. I'm going to say that they're so out of it, but you're going to see them, they're going to fight the rest of the year for Andy Reid.
Oh yeah, it's already started.
I think they'll fight for Andy Reid.
I hope so. He deserves it.
He deserves the team not to give up on him. I'm going to say he'll coach someplace next year, but it won't be Philly.
Maybe he might take a year off. He needs it after the rough year he's having and how he had to bury his son this all season. He's just having a rough year. I think he's going to take some time and then he'll get any coaching job he wants.
There are a couple of playoff scenarios this week.
Okay.
New England wins. New England wins at Miami. New England's your AFC champ.
That was quick.
Like nobody saw that coming.
Oh yeah, of course.
Only people in Buffalo didn't see that coming. Baltimore clinches a playoff spot with a win home against Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger was limited in practice, by the way, and Steelers fans can start jumping up and down. Palomalu practiced fully. First time all season. Clinch a playoff spot with a win or a tie, plus Cincinnati loss, Miami loss.
I think Cincinnati has it this week against the Chargers. When will Norv Turner get fired? He has something.
He's got that dirty pictures of the owner in his back pocket. So.
It's due. I think it's probably obviously been.
It's overdue.
It should have been a couple years ago. He's just a better coordinator. He was the Cowboys coordinator, won all the Super Bowls. It's just.
There are just some of those coaches. Look at Wade Phillips.
Yep.
They're not made to be a head coach. They're made to be coordinator.
Arguably, it could be Rex Ryan as well, but you never know.
You know what? Rex Ryan's still up in the air about that because he had good years with the Jets. And he's had good moments with the Jets.
Oh, yeah, of course. All the coaches have been.
Baltimore also clinches the division with a win and a Cincinnati loss. NFC West. The AFC West is already clinched, basically. Denver win.
Yeah,
with clinch either with a win plus a San Diego loss. Texans can't clinch the division because they still play the Colts twice, which is a great story of the season, by the way.
Chuck Strong,
Andrew Luck's playing well. I don't know how you... I think it was Bill Burr's podcast, I heard it, who made the best point. I don't know how you get that lucky to be so crappy the year before Peyton Manning comes out of college and then be so crappy the year before Andrew Luck comes out of college. That's luck.
How many times are you going to say luck? Luck. Yeah, get it.
But they can clinch a playoff spot with either a win or Miami loss, Cincinnati loss, or Miami loss, Pittsburgh loss, or Cincinnati and Pittsburgh loss. The only thing in the NFC that could be done is Atlanta. Atlanta clinches the South if they win, and Tampa loses.
Which I could see happening.
Tampa's playing Denver this week, in Denver. It's going to be a tough matchup. And Atlanta wins a playoff spot with a win. Tampa wins, and Seattle loses.
That's very feasible, but isn't Seattle at home, so
basically give them the win?
At the moment. You never know, but they have a better shot at winning.
Seattle this week is playing, I want to say, division game. They're actually on the road.
Oh, so...
They're in Chicago, so congratulations, Atlanta. You're in the playoffs. Unless Jay Cutler comes out with one of his games.
Huh.
Which we all know he's capable of.
Of course.
But then again, it's not a playoff game. He only does that in the playoffs. Speaking of Atlanta, tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football.
Thursday Night Football is going to be a great game.
Down in the ATL. Atlanta, New Orleans.
They have made it known that they don't like each other.
Past couple of years, they've made that known. This year, it's just elevated. Atlanta's one loss this season was in New Orleans. It's going to be a fun game. New Orleans needs this game to keep going.
Yeah, pretty much. This is do or die for New Orleans.
Lose this game, you could basically call the season over. What are they at now? 5-6. 3.5 spread.
Honestly, I firmly think that the Falcons are gonna get payback on them losing their first game.
I think so also. And if any of the Atlanta Falcons defensive players are listening, the Giants play the Saints next week, so nothing serious, just a twisted ankle to Breeze would be nice. I wouldn't mind watching Chase Daniels try and play the Giants next week.
That would be very nice.
But that's just me. That's just my opinion.
Okay. We got a bunch of questions this week. My friend John just emailed us at the last second. He has 2 questions from us. He's a new listener, so he kind of
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, John, for listening. His first question was Andy Reid. Is it? We all know that it's Andy Reid's last season with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vic is done as well. Where do they end up next year, and who ends up going to Philly as their coach and quarterback?
I'm going to say they're going to look to draft a quarterback first.
Again? Well, possibly, yeah.
But they need to bring a guy in who's going to... The first guy to sit down with their owner and say, my offense is going to run around LaShawn McCoy is going to get the job. Because anybody who says that Nick Foles is going to run that offense, or whoever the quarterback is next year, I think Foles will be the starter opening day.
Yeah, I think Foles will get some...
Vic is definitely gone. I can see a team picking up Vic.
Oh yeah, I could see like maybe Dallas or some team like that
to give their starter a threat type thing, or bringing that second dimension to the offense. Because I think if Vic is bring him in as a wildcat. You know who Vic's going to start for next year?
Jets?
Yeah.
Be some sight.
Rex Ryan will play. Well, if Rex Ryan is still the coach, he'll be there.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to say Vic is going to be there. As for coach-wise...
That's tough. Granted, Andy Reid's having a tough year, and he's going to finally get the axe. He's the longest tenured coach, more than anybody. It's going to be tough filling his shoes. It's absolutely going to be tough. Like all coaches, they're like bread. They finally got an expiration date, and the team just needs a new voice and everything like that. They need
a change of scenery.
It's going to be interesting to see. I really don't know who they would get. It's going to be odd next year seeing the Eagles.
I'm going to throw one name out there that nobody talks about who's coaching in that United Football League right now.
Okay.
Jim Fossil.
No, Jim Fossil.
No, I'm not saying Eagles.
No.
I'm not going to say Eagles. But I'm going to say he's going to have a coaching job next year.
No, absolutely not. If he hasn't gotten a coaching job for the last 10 years in the NFL, why would he coach?
He had some interviews last year.
That don't mean anything.
He's won, I think it's 3 straight United Football League.
Who cares?
But he's going to be my coach then.
No, he hasn't been a coach. It's not like Terry Collins. I'm bringing baseball into it. Who hasn't or Bobby V, who hasn't coached in the major leagues for 10.5 years. It's not like that. If he hasn't been a coach for the last 10 years in the NFL, there's probably no way in hell he's going to make it. They're just giving him a nice thing. I don't see Fossil. It's tough I don't know who is the flavor of the month. Everybody's going to say Gruden. But
another name? Brian Billick.
I could see that too.
You can see Billick coming out of...
That's another one.
It's only been 2 years? 3 years?
No, it's been 3 to 4.
Okay, but
it's still not long enough. We'll see. His other question is, we definitely have mentioned it. He asked who we think would the Super Bowl be. Since John's a new listener, we can say it again. Are you still going with the Texans and the Packers?
I know my friend Aaron's been yelling at me of why we picked the Packers, and to be totally honest, I can still say the Packers are going to be there. Because even though as bad as they looked the other day, if they flip a switch, they're gone. Yeah, out of this world, best team in the league. They're also going to get two of their best defensive players back. They're getting Jennings back this week to add a weapon on offense. Benson, they say, is about 2-3 weeks away. He's going to come back towards the end of the year. They're going to get Woodson back. And they're also going to get Matthews back.
Yeah, they have
their injury problems.
They have the injury problems. If they get healthy, I can see them go. I'm not going to change ship. Obviously, I want to say the Giants, as everybody knows. But as of right now, you never know. Maybe Kaepernick. I'm still going to say Packers. But maybe the Niners make a big run or anything like that. Who really knows? It's the NFC is such a crapshoot that every team has a plausible reason why they can make the Super Bowl run. Right. And that's what's going to make it interesting. As for I also picked the Texans.
We both picked the Texans as well.
They are more the flavor of the year. It's going to be tough to get out of the AFC with the Patriots and the Ravens and
they're one of those teams that everybody's waiting for that step
but
back.
But they overall have a good team, and I feel
Correct.
Last year if they had Schaub and a couple others,
Andre Johnson was healthy.
Yeah, if they made it to the playoffs and they made it past the first round with TJ Yates, and that is how I feel. Like, if they stay healthy for the rest of the year, they can make a big legit dent in the AFC and make a title run.
We also got a fantasy question from my buddy Aaron. This question says, will Fred Jackson ruin my typical amazing season in fantasy? What can I do to replace him for anything?
Well, yes, I hope so, since he's ahead of me by half a game in the final week of the season. Would be nice to get, but
he honestly, did mention Noshan was already picked up, which of course was one of the big flavors. One guy who's huge, who I don't think is left in that league.
Yeah, if he's talking about our league is very slim pickings, because I went to look at if there's anybody, even though I didn't need anybody, just to see who was around.
A bunch of guys being on IR does not help. Guys like David Wilson is huge now.
Yeah, he could be a low-end flex guy in a few weeks. Obviously not this week, because we don't know what the Giants are going to do.
Right. Also in New England, you have Vern.
Yeah, he had a big game.
Can also be good.
I don't expect him to have that much of a big game. He just had that long touchdown against the Jets.
Yeah, the receiving, but the key is that he receives, and in the PPR, it's a big thing.
Yeah. If you're very desperate, honestly, I would obviously rather play Fred Jackson. He's just not getting number one carries, and
that's because Spiller decided to play well this year.
Yeah, Spiller's finally not being a bust. It hurts, but if you have a better options, go for it. But Fred Jackson's still better than all the guys in our waiver wire at the moment.
Yeah. Well, that's the show for this week.
Thank you guys for listening. Once again, if you enjoy the show, please let your friends know and like our page and Facebook.
Just keep in mind that
Twitter.
Keep in mind it's the Sndpodcast now.
Yeah, no longer NFL.
We're going to change that and everything so you guys can see it. Also, there are some new guidelines on Facebook with pages. You need to make sure you get notifications so you don't miss out on any of our shows. We do both share the shows, so hopefully that will help you out as well. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you guys next week.
Enjoy your football.
Enjoy the football, and don't forget, contact us, keep in touch with us. We're always here to answer questions for you guys. So anything you guys need, just let us know. Also, before we go, I would also like to mention one last thing, that the Sndpodcast is in no way affiliated, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Football League or any of its affiliates. Good night, guys.